Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. The Premier League returns after a hectic European week. The Premier League weekend does begin at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where Antonio Conte's men face a Brighton side led by Graham Potter, where Spurs are aiming for top four after a recent run of 4 Premier League wins in a row, and Brighton look to finish in their highest Premier League position with a chance of a top half finish on the table. Brighton have never had great travels to the new Spurs Stadium, playing there 4 times and never picking up a win and losing every single time. But for Brighton, they could be the first team since Hull in 2008 to beat Arsenal and Tottenham away in consecutive games. So it would be a great way to change the Seagulls' look at this ground. For the 45th ever meeting between Tottenham and Brighton, will Spurs gain on their luxurious 4th spot that they currently hold, or can Brighton get back on track for good form with a second Premier League win in a row? It is the lunchtime kickoff. Spurs in a great run of form, scoring lots of goals. Brighton just starting to turn their form around after 6 losses in a row that they did have in a recent run, but they drew to Norwich 0-0 and they've beaten Arsenal away. So you just think maybe that the form is just starting to slowly turn in the right favour, but their fixtures aren't easy at the minute. They've obviously just played Arsenal away, which they did get a great result in, but they've got to play now Spurs away, and then they've also got to go and play Manchester City away as well in 4 days' time. So the fixtures don't get easier. They haven't been easy, but Brighton have been led heroically by Graham Potter. They currently sit 11th in the table, their highest ever position that they've ever been at. The highest ever they've got is 15th in the Premier League when they finished there in the 2017-2018 season and the 2019-2020 season. But other than 15th, they've never finished higher, and they are on track for a position that is higher than that and possibly reaching towards the top half of the table, which would be an unbelievable achievement for a club like Brighton. But like I said, gaining points near the end of the season is never easy. Everyone's scraping for points, scrapping for everything they can get when they're looking to try and get European places, if that's staying up or finishing in your highest ever position. So every team wants the points. It's now or never for a lot of teams, and for Spurs, it is very much now or never. They've got to be winning every game, because if they win every game, they can get that 4th spot, which a lot of people didn't think was possible even when Antonio Conte was brought in, because his methods took a little bit of time for everyone to really get used to, but now his team are firing on all cylinders, that's for sure. They've got a deadly front three with Dejan Kulusevski on loan from Juventus, the forever present Harry Kane, who looks like he's set to stay at Spurs. There's rumours that he's really enjoying his career now at Spurs under Antonio Conte, so he might be able to stay for the future of Spurs, mainly because I don't think anyone might want to go for him anymore. He's now at the age of 28, Harry Kane, 100 plus million for a player of that age. You don't see that money spent on a player that age that often, so Spurs might be seeing Harry Kane stay at the club for the foreseeable future. And then obviously Heung-min Son as well, the South Korean, who's got 100 appearances for his country. Unbelievable player. He's really on form. He's 3 goals behind Mo Salah in the top goal scoring ranks. So if he gets a hat-trick today, who knows? Because that will be back-to-back hat-tricks as well for Heung-min Son, who did score 3 goals against Aston Villa last week in their last Premier League win. Linked to that Premier League win against Aston Villa, Antonio Conte did contract COVID after a positive test, but after a week's break of games, he's got positive and he's got negative, and he's back on the touchline for today's game for Tottenham Hotspur. We are just under 7 minutes away from kickoff. I'll go through the lineups now. They are on screen, but I'll go through them a little bit more detail on paper as we are closing in on kickoff. So let's go through the lineups. We'll start with the home side first of Tottenham Hotspur. They've got Hugo Lloris in goal. Currently got 4 clean sheets in his last 7 Premier League matches. 3 centre-halves of Christian Romero, the Argentine, Eric Dyer, who's been the steady figure in the centre of that back 3, and then Ben Davies, the left-footed, usually left-back. He's playing in the left centre-back because he can also play there for his country alongside Spurs. A flat 4 across the midfield with right wing-back Emerson Royal, the Brazilian, who's going to have to cement his spot now with Matt Doherty out injured. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, who's been a fantastic signing for the last 2 seasons from Southampton. Rodrigo Bentancur, also a loanee, brought in the January from Juventus, and Sergio Reguilon will play left wing back again, coming in for the injured Irishman Matt Doherty's picked up a knee injury and he'll be out for the rest of the season. And we've already touched on the front three of Tottenham. Dejan Kulusevski's got 3 goals and 6 assists in 11 Premier League matches so far. Harry Kane also up front. Not his best season for goals so far. He's not scored in his last 3, but has got 5 assists in those last 3, so showing how he's really adapting his game. And then Heung-min Son as well, back in the team, as always. Hat-trick against Aston Villa. Can he try and get another hat-trick today to try and get on the same goals as Mo Salah, who's not playing this weekend in the Premier League? Obviously, he's involved in FA Cup duty. And we'll go through the substitutes as well. Pierluigi Golini is in goal, formerly of Aston Villa. Marcel Lavenia, the 21-year-old Portuguese right back, signed from Chelsea on a permanent in 2020. This is his first ever time on the bench or in a squad in the Premier League. David Sanchez, the Colombian's on the bench alongside Joe Rodon. They're the 2 centre-half options. Midfield options of Harvey White, the under-23 captain for Spurs, Harry Winks, and then also wing-back Ryan Sessegnon is on the bench with the 2 forwards of Lucas Moura and Steven Bergwijn being the 2 main options to bring on if Spurs are in need of a goal, as we've currently got the 2 sides walking out on a very hot day, sunny day in London. To cover the Brighton lineup as well, Robert Sanchez in goal. 8 clean sheets so far for him this season. Tariq Lamptey, former of Chelsea for 12 years. He's at right back. Joel Veltman, who usually plays on the right-hand side of a defence, maybe in a wing-back or a right centre-back role. He's in the centre-back role of a back 4. See how he would deal with that, the former Ajax man. And he's alongside club captain Lewis Dunk, who's been at the club now since 2003. Marc Cucurella, the Spanish left-back signing in the summer, he plays on the left-hand side. And we think there's going to be a flat midfield 5. There's no strikers in this Brighton side, so it's been a bit of a confusion to figure out what they're actually going for. So during the game, we'll have to figure it out. But we're thinking it's a flat midfield 5 with Pascal Gross on the right-hand side, the German international. 3 midfielders of Enoch Mwepu, Moises Caicedo, and Yves Bissouma in a midfield 3 with obviously Pascal Gross on the right and Leandro Trossard on the left, making his 100th Brighton appearance today. And we think we're going to go for a striker of Alexis McAllister. Usually a creative midfielder, but maybe he'll have to do a job from the front. Like I said, there's no out-and-out striker in this Brighton side, so we're going to have to wait until kickoff starts to find out what Graham Potter's doing to try and change his team's look against Spurs, because they have played each other twice already this season, once in the FA Cup at this ground and once in the Premier League a month ago today. It's just hard to concentrate with that noise. Oh, there we go. So yeah, we think it's a 4-5-1. You're going to remember Caicedo plays again. Moses Caicedo, the number 25 midfielder. He played the full 90 against Arsenal and got an assist for Enoch Mwepu, who got that goal. You might remember the right-footed finish, edge of the box, bottom corner. Fantastic goal. See if they can replicate something similar. But that is the team for Brighton. On the bench, Jason Steele, Adam Webster, Odell Offier, Solly March, Adam Lallana, Jeremy Sarmiento, Evan Ferguson, Neil Maupay, and Danny Welbeck as well. So, very close to kick-off now. Just under 2 minutes away at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. 2 teams are on the screen. Let's see. If we get goals today in this lunchtime kick-off, we've obviously got some big games in the Premier League coming up as well today. We've got Manchester United versus Norwich at 3 o'clock, Southampton, Arsenal, and Watford, Brentford, and alongside the big FA Cup semi-final between Manchester City and Liverpool as well. Well, first game of this action-packed day of football is Spurs versus Brighton. Kick-off is fast approaching. If you're in here, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. We need to just try and figure out what Graham Potter's thought for this one. No recognised striker. Pretty much 6 midfielders in the team. So it's going to be an interesting one to figure out what he's gone for. Because like I said, they have lost their last 2 games against Spurs in this season's campaign. One in the FA Cup and then one in the Premier League a month ago when Tottenham came away 2-0 winners. Goals from Christian Romero and Harry Kane in that one. Well, Brighton have struggled for goals as well. But Brighton will have kick-off, kicking from left to right. Spurs right to left as all players and staff and officials take the knee. No room for discrimination in our game or in society in general. As it is, Brighton in the turquoise blue kit, kicking back to Lewis Dunk, the centre-half. Diagonal ball forward towards Mwepu. Headed down by Ben Davies. Completes a 1-2 with Højbjerg in the left-back area. Now with Reguilon. Back to Ben Davies, getting cornered towards his own corner flag here. Tries to clear down the line. Deflects off a Brighton man. Brought down by Pascal Gross. And Brighton were in possession in the Tottenham half early on. 25 seconds in. And they've played it back to their back line of Lewis Dunk. Looks like it may be a back three here for Brighton as they give it away with Leandro Trossard. Harry Kane can bring it away here, centre of the pitch. He's got options to his right. He decides to go for a shot around 22 yards out. Drags it horrifically with a lack of pace and an easy save for the Spaniard Robert Sanchez in the Brighton goal. It does look like it's a back three of Cucurella, Lewis Dunk and Joel Veltman as a back three, with Tariq Lamptey on the right as a right wing back and possibly Leandro Trossard being told to play a left wing back role, usually attacking minded, as Robert Sanchez sends the ball up towards Mwepu. It looks like he may have gone down there caught, but play continues as it fell to Brighton on halfway with Yves Bissouma. Cucurella back to Lewis Dunk. It does look like a back three that can turn into a back four in transition of attacking play. And play has eventually been stopped here as Mwepu still holding his head from that earlier challenge I just mentioned. Craig Pawson, our referee today, getting the medical attention on, and Mwepu just saying he caught an elbow to the face. Like I said, Enoch Mwepu, the Zambian midfielder, did get a goal and an assist against Arsenal in Brighton's last game, which ended in a win. Yeah, just caught in the face there, actually. Just the hand caught in Mwepu's face there. Ben Davies didn't mean to. As he was falling, he was just bringing his arms out to balance himself to not fall over. So, not intentional by the Welshman Ben Davies, but still won't be welcomed by Mwepu, the midfielder signed in the summer from RB Salzburg. Can score goals for a midfield. He got 10 last season in all competitions for the Austrian side, as we've got an early stoppage here for the number 12. 2.5 minutes in, Tottenham 0, Brighton 0. Like I say, for Spurs, they've got 4 wins in a row in the Premier League since their loss to Manchester United 3-2 on the 12th of March, almost a month ago now. As Enoch Mwepu will just be going off to the side, and Craig Pawson will just drop the ball back to centre-half Lewis Dunk, as it does look like 3 at the back for Brighton. As Cucurella has it at left centre-back, the Spaniards were back underway, and Mwepu is back on field for Brighton. Dunk, long diagonal ball to the right-hand side towards Tariq Lamptey. Challenges Reguilon and wins it, but doesn't find a Brighton player in the Tottenham half, and it's Spurs back in possession on the edge of the 18-yard box with Argentine Christian Romero, and there's the Uruguayan, the loanee from Juventus, Rodrigo Bentancur. He's been a fantastic addition. He's now got 7 starts in a row in the Premier League for Tottenham. And in fact, the 2 loanees from Juventus made their debuts in the FA Cup game against Brighton at this stadium, which ended in a 3-1 win back in early February. As Brighton dispossessed Tottenham, and they're in the box here. Tackled strongly. Caicedo tries to recollect the pieces, but he's tackled by Emerson Royale, and down the line it's cleared, and it deflects off a Brighton man. And Tottenham just get away with a little bit of lack of concentration there. And Brighton didn't really make the most of the opportunity as they broke into the Tottenham box. As in deep in the Tottenham half. Emerson Royale has a throw-in. He throws it back to his goalkeeper and captain, Hugo Lloris. Works it to Reguilon in the left-back area for Tottenham. Tries to get past Lamptey, and that is seen as a foul as he chops him down. The former Chelsea right-back, Tariq Lamptey's had a big struggle with injuries, especially last season. He missed 25 league games in the previous season with hamstring issues. He's just leaving one on there, on Reguilon. Eric Dyer has it. Now a centre-back. He's been a centre-half now for the last 2 and a bit seasons. He's been pressed here by Alexis McAllister. Shifts it to Christian Romero on the right as Tottenham are struggling to get out of their own half here. Good press from Brighton so far, but it's about keeping it up for the Seagulls. Eric Dyer strides forward. He's got Ben Davies to his left. Opts against it and gets it inside to Højbjerg. Lays it on to Bentancur. Still in their own half here, Tottenham, as they'll eventually poise the Brighton half. Christian Romero. Across to Dyer. Still not wanting to enter the Brighton half. And there we go. Getting it out to Davies. Has to cut back into his own half and play it to Eric Dyer. As they're being patient here, Tottenham. Not rushing any passes. Højbjerg. Across to Eric Dyer again. Here's to Ben Davies. It's just of it hit the 6th minute. I'm surprised Harry Kane's not dropped deep for the ball yet. But the strikers are itching to get a touch and they're working it through the lines here. And Bentancur sees a ball over the top towards Emerson Royale, who was charging in towards the 18-yard box, but he was overhit and can be easily collected by Sanchez, the goalkeeper. Only 2 seasons ago, Robert Sanchez, he was on loan in League One at Rochdale. Shows how he's come on leaps and bounds in his career and also got called up to the Spanish side in the Euros. And he kicks it out of his hands towards the left-hand side. Helped forward by Emerson Royale, only as far as Moises Caicedo. Gets it in to Trossard and gets the return, and then back to Trossard again. Heads it inside towards McAllister. Basuma restarts at the back with Joel Veltman, formerly of Ajax. He's got a contract until the end of next season. Joel Veltman. Pascal Gross chops past Bentancur and plays it to Tariq Lamptey. Everything to his left. On the right-hand side, tries the cross. Deflects straight across to Bentancur. Ball forward towards Kane. Intercepted nicely by Yves Basuma, the Brighton midfielder, and they can try and get at this Tottenham defence again. Leandro Trossard one-on-one with Emerson Royale. A lot of Tottenham bodies back to defend. Everyone's behind the ball here for Tottenham, as it's worked out to Marc Cucurella. Back inside to Pascal Gross, the German central midfielder. Out to the right-hand side to Joel Veltman. Here Tariq Lamptey. That other cross just before was pretty poor. He decides to just play it inside to Basuma, as it's Brighton's turn just to knock the ball about now, as they've been pressed all the way back to their goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez. And Tottenham can get right back up the field now. So with Lewis Dunk looking for an option, sees Trossard making a run in behind, just plays it behind the Belgian. And out of play goes Leandro Trossard now in the Belgium squad. Now he's pretty much a regular, Leandro Trossard, after making his debut in September of 2020. He's now got 15 appearances for his country and was involved in the Euros as well under Roberto Martinez. Ben Davies invites the pressure from Moises Caicedo, and he wins the throw-in, Davies, but he needs to shift the ball quicker after getting bombarded with, not abuse, but with words from Antonio Conte, just getting him to speed it up. The 52-year-old Italian at Spurs, managing now his 30th game at the club, after joining in November, after the sacking of Nuno Espirito Santo, who got off to a half-decent start, to be fair, got manager of the month in August. They won the first 3 games 1-0, sitting top of the league with 9 points, but things do change in the 38-game season. As I think Brighton win a throw-in there, deep in their own half, and I think it came off Lamptey last, so that's a pretty poor decision that from Craig Pawson. Definitely came off Lamptey's chest, but did it go out of play before that? Tottenham throw-in for me, that. Just nudged slightly by Son, and he fell over, and the ball hit his chest. Should have been a Tottenham throw-in. That would have been a good place to get a throw-in as well, right in the Brighton half. As they charismatic Conte again, just giving out instructions in the right back area. Robert Sanchez will take this free kick and get up the field for Brighton. Headed away by Eric Dyer. Won back by Yves Bissouma for Brighton. We're having healthy amounts of possession here, Brighton. We do know they like having the ball. They like having possession, like creating chances, but the lack of goals from these chances this season have been the kryptonite for them under Graham Potter for the last couple of seasons, as McAllister tries to wriggle his way through the Tottenham midfield, but it's won back by Spurs, and Lloris looks at Emerson Royal on the right, asking a lot of the Brazilian right wing back who can't avoid the ball curling out of play from his clearance. Emerson Royal, the Brazilian wing back brought in from Barcelona in the summer. There's been a lot of questions over, is he good enough in the Premier League? And, you know, it is a bit harsh to have those judgments so early in a player's career, because you've got to remember the Premier League is a much different league to La Liga, where he was previously under Celta Vigo in Barcelona. So maybe next season we might see the best of Emerson Royal as Brighton on the left-hand side try and work from this throw-in. They've got it with Joel Veltman on the halfway line now. Goes to the right-hand side to Tariq Lamptey. Chested touch. Can't get beyond Sergio Reguilon, and he's poked it forward to Son. Tariq Lamptey dispossessed, and Tottenham have the counter-attack on as Heung-min Son's been dealt with easily there, but then they've lost it with Kane. Back to Son, who's back to his feet. He loses it once again, and then Mwepo can get it forward for Brighton. Sends it to the right to Tariq Lamptey. Not rushing forward here, Brighton. Just want control possession again in Mwepo. The man who did get a goal and assist against Arsenal at the Emirates last week. It's now Leandro Trossard, the one who's got the magic wand for Brighton. Moises Caicedo brought in. Moises Caicedo did spend the first half of this season on loan in Belgium at Beerschot before coming back to Brighton for the second half of the season. He's making his fourth appearance for the club this season, and in his career he made his Premier League debut against Arsenal last week. That was his first Premier League outing, and it's not a bad one. He made a great cross for the Mwepo goal as Robert Sanchez gives a ball for Mwepo to chase down the right, but it's too heavy, and Sergio Reguilon throwing it is under 12 minutes in, still 0-0. No real big chances as of yet in the London sunshine in this lunchtime kickoff. Sergio Reguilon taking his time with his throw-in. Gets into Bentancur, back to Reguilon. Lifted ball in towards Eric Dyer, who flicks over his head into Kane, and he brings it down, and he looked to return it to Eric Dyer, who's running to a forward position, and they've lost out, and they've lost their central centre-half here, Tottenham, and can Brighton punish them as Eric Dyer recovers with a challenge from behind, and he wins the ball perfectly. Great recovery defending there from Dyer as they look to send away a counter-attack with Kane. He loses out, though, with an aerial ball to Mark Cucurella, and Brighton are back in possession as Lewis Dunk's gone down on his two knees, and Robert Sanchez has slipped as he clears it, and Dunk stayed down, holding his lower back. I wonder what happened there. Is Kane was giving chase. Oh, that's a bit naughty, that, from Kane. Lewis Dunk was just blocking off Kane from getting towards his keeper, and Kane, a little bit naughty there, has just gone with his knee into the lower back of Dunk. And Lewis Dunk is not accepting any of the help from Kane. Just doing a defender's job, just, blocking the striker off so the keeper can have as much time as he can clearing it. Didn't really do much in the end because he slipped on his backside when he cleared it, Robert Sanchez. But no, Kane definitely just, knowing what he was doing there with a little knee in the lower back of Dunk. They can be sore, them ones. But he's back on his feet, the Brighton captain, thankfully. They'd miss 7 games injured, Lewis Dunk, in the months of December and January of this season. And did get a red card in their 2-0 loss to Manchester United away from home. And just the 1 goal so far this season. Away at Newcastle. So we're back on the way, and it's the Tottenham ball, Christian Romero. Long ball over the top, diagonal. No Tottenham players anywhere near the ball, and Lamptey has a lot of time here in the right back area to take a couple touches and clear it up for Brighton. Intercepted though by Højbjerg, and his head has gone straight to Kane in the box. He brings it down beautifully, but it's a good recovery challenge from Joel Veltman as Kane nearly got beyond the Dutchman. But as Kane was running down on goal, Veltman was able to get the right side of him and get a good side challenge in. Does concede the corner, but much better than conceding the Harry Kane shot from around 10 yards out. was a poor clearance by Tariq Lamptey at right back. And it was headed forward by Højbjerg, and Kane nearly took it in his stride to get a shot away. It wasn't for the intervention of Joel Veltman. And it'll be Heung-min Son to put it in, swinging corner in, just under 15 minutes in. Positive start from both sides, but yet to have a first big chance. The ball goes in. Sanchez punches away to the edge of the box to Reguilon. Feeds it back to the South Korean, Heung-min Son, who took the corner, crosses it in again. Blocked away by the head of Yves Bissouma. It's now back with Reguilon. They're going to try the right-hand side this time with Højbjerg into Rodrigo Bentancur. And back out left again to Ben Davies, who's getting back into his position. They are starting to all trickle back into their position. Tottenham is Eric Dyer's gone back into centre-half. As we've got the Uruguayan on the ball, Bentancur. Final third we are with Heung-min Son on the far left. Cuts onto his right, works across, and it's deflected off Enoch and Wepu. And that'll be a back-to-back corner for Tottenham. The South Koreans' first corner wasn't a success in terms of a goal. When he takes this one short to Reguilon, works it back into South Korean. 1-on-1 with Tariq Lamptey. He'll go down the left-hand side towards the byline, work across. Deflected again. This time off Tariq Lamptey. And a hat-trick of corners in quick succession for Tottenham. Neither of them really challenging Robert Sanchez. The first one forced him to make a punch, but he was not really challenged that much. He is 6'5", the goalkeeper, so he does have that height advantage. Son in swinger again towards Sanchez, who parries it away, and it can be volleyed out by Marc Cucurella, the Spanish left back, and Emerson Morales to deal with it, and he gets beyond the rushing challenge easily and plays it forward to Dyer. Over the top ball. What a ball by Dyer. Brought down by Kulusevski. Well covered by Marc Cucurella, who has to hurry a clearance, but it's a poor one. Romero in the box, goes the long way round everyone and pulls it back. Had to be stopped by Robert Sanchez, who closed down the angle and concedes another corner, this time on the Tottenham right-hand side, as they might try a different tactic, as Eric Dyer's ball over the top towards Kulusevski was beautiful, and the touch inside from Kulusevski was nearly as beautiful as the pass from Dyer, but Marc Cucurella's chest got in the way, and then his clearance was poor. A pull back by Romero, blocked off by Sanchez, and Tottenham starting to get into their groove now. As Son will take the corner on the opposite side, but it'll be an out-swinging ball this time with his right boot. Only the one shot so far in the game, and that's come Tottenham's way. Heung-min Son, short to Bentancur, lays it back into South Korean. Tries to take on Yves Bissouma, but as he had to bring the ball back down from the pass that was lifted to him by Bentancur, Son used his arm in the process, and that'll be a free kick for Brighton, so another wasted set piece. Yeah, unintentionally just used his hand there, Heung-min Son. He knew he wouldn't get away with that. As we're just under 18 minutes in, like I said, just the one shot in the game that's gone Spurs' way, but it's been very even. Possession even, and possibly the last 5 minutes Tottenham have just started to become the more threatening team, but yet to really disturb Brighton in defence, as Sanchez's ball from the free kicks landed right on the chest of Romero, and he takes it away from a Brighton man and works it to Ben Davies at left centre-half. Great play from the Argentine, who did score in the reverse fixture in the Premier League in that 2-0 win they got at the Amex, Tottenham. Ball inside to Bentancur, very composed on the ball as they have it in their 18-yard area here, Tottenham really playing out from the back at their limits. Lloris, first time ball out towards Emerson Morel, heads it forward. Lloris fires Marc Cucurella as Trossard has stayed down here with a facial injury again, as he's been caught there by Emerson Morel as he went for the header. And he stayed down, the Belgian. He's having to do a shift at left wing back today, the usually attacking-minded winger, and yeah, had just got a hand in the face there by Royale. Don't know if it was intentional, but definitely caught him in the face there. Don't think there is any blood. As I think Graham Potter will be happy with his side in the first 20 minutes or so of the game. And in that game where Tottenham won away at Brighton in the Premier League exactly a month ago, that put Tottenham into 7th place. So it shows how much they've come on since then. They now sit in 4th, 18 wins out of 31. We're back underway with Brighton on the ball. Trossard back on the field. Sanchez plays it up towards, that's Moses Caicedo, can't win the header, but Brighton win it back in midfield as Højbjerg tries to chase it back down, but he can't get it off Yves Bissouma, and they work it to the left to Cucurella, forward into Leandro Trossard. Appearance number 100 for the Belgian today in all competitions for Brighton. McAllister dropped deep for the ball here, around 30 yards out, and he sprays it wide right to Tariq Lamptey. Can he work across? He goes down the line instead towards Mwepu, but it's just overhit. He got some good space down the right there in the box in Mwepu as well, but couldn't be found by Tariq Lamptey, and it'll be a goal kick for Tottenham. Nearly working their first real chance of the game there, Brighton. It's taken short to Christian Romero on loan from Atalanta until the end of the next season with an option to buy. He was at Juventus for 2 years, from 2019 to 2021. Didn't make a senior appearance for Juventus, but made a name for himself in Atalanta, Christian Romero. Dyer has it out to the Argentine. As from there, it does look like a 5-4-1 formation for Brighton when defending, with Leandro Trossard dropping into wing back on the left as Tottenham look to try and attack that side of Brighton. There's a misplaced ball, is intercepted by Bissouma in midfield. And can they work this away with McAllister? Oh, good footwork, taken out cynically by Højbjerg. And that will be a free kick for Brighton on halfway line. Really tidy footwork there from McAllister. Just chopped the ball away from Højbjerg, and the Dane took out the Argentine. Alexis McAllister, who does have Irish and Scottish heritage. Not scored in his last 12 games, Alexis McAllister, and when he did get his last goal, it came with 2 when he got a brace against Everton in an away win for the Seagulls. As this free kick will be lifted towards the right-hand side, towards Dunk. Over his head and straight to Lamptey. What a ball. Well brought down. Left-footed cross. It's headed away only as far as the left-hand side to Trossard. Helps it back in towards Dunk. Headed away only as far as Mwepu. Blocked away. In the corner it is. He was looking for back-to-back goals there in knocking Mwepu. Ball in by Lamptey. Headed away by Bentancur only as far as Trossard, who helped it back in over Dunk's head. And it fell to Mwepu, and it was on target. Good block by the chest of Ben Davies. Got over it really well. The Zambian midfielder. And it was a key block by Ben Davies to stop Brighton from going 1 ahead. They went 1 ahead last week against Arsenal in the 28th minute. We're currently 22.5 minutes in. We've got Brighton's first corner. It's an outswinger by Pascal Gross. Lifted towards the far post, towards Marky Cucurella on the volley. Plays all the way back to the original taker of Gross. Pulls it back. Shot blocked again by Kane. And cleared by Tottenham. As that poor volley from Cucurella worked back to the original corner taker. He was onside as Reguilon was going back to his goal line to block a possible shot. And that pull back from Gross to Joel Veltman was blocked by Harry Kane. Doing his defensive work. As Joel Veltman will take this throw in. Still deep in the Tottenham half. Taking his time with this throw-in, and he ends up going backwards to Lewis Dunk. And gets the return. Then goes back towards Robert Sanchez. It's a short ball, and he just about gets there ahead of the pressing Harry Kane. And it looks like it might turn out to be a pretty decent ball towards Pascal Gross. But it's dealt with by Ben Davies to Lloris. And again, he's just about shifted it to Romero as McAllister was pressing. And Tottenham lose it with Cucurella with a quick throw-in now into McAllister, the number 10. And Mwepu, who's come closest so far on the ball, shifting it nicely, moving it along nicely for Brighton. Trossard into Cucurella, far left, in the final third. No space for a cross, but he gets the ball inside to Trossard. Pull back. Falls to the feet of Højbjerg, who can hook it away for Tottenham. And there's an offside anyway in the build-up of that Brighton attack, so it will be a Tottenham free kick. Again, like Sanchez had to just hurry it away there. Lloris had to do the same as Sanchez ball went forward and Ben Davies brought it down and played it to Lloris back to goal. And like I said, Lloris just about shifted it away from Alexis McAllister, who was chomping at the heels to get that ball. from the offside free kick. We're back on the way with the right centre half of Christian Romero. He missed 9 games through November to January in the Premier League with a hamstring injury. It's now 2-1 to Brighton in terms of attempts on goal in this first 25 minutes. Tottenham working out from the back. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg did make the semi-finals of the European Championships back in the summer of 2021. Does have 2 goals himself in previous games against Brighton. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg got 1 in each of Southampton's games against Brighton in the 2018-2019 season. 1 came in a 2-2 draw, and then he got the only goal in a 1-0 win. You might remember it was a really satisfying finish on the right foot. Bent it into the bottom left corner, so he'll be looking to score against Brighton once again as 2 Tottenham players have ended up on the deck from challenges as they look to try and get through on their left-hand side. Reguilon's back to his feet, and I think Ben Davies was the other one who was taken out. But yeah, and Mwepu just stamping on the foot of Reguilon, trying to get the ball. And that will be a rightly given free kick, as that's a yellow as well. Craig Pawson brandishing the yellow card for Enoch Mwepu, and it probably was, to be fair. He did stamp right on the top of the foot of Reguilon, completely missing the ball. As Tottenham will try and attack down their right-hand side this time, as they're forced back to halfway with with Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Kulusevski. Pressure by Cucurella, and he threw an elbow there, Kulusevski, towards the Spaniard, and Craig Pawson stops play as Kulusevski walks away. Signs of a guilty man. See what he does here. Don't know where that elbow ended up, but he was obviously frustrated. It's a yellow card. You might think Kulusevski got away with one there. Just getting pressed there, just being held back, and then a little shove. Oh, and then a bit of an elbow there on Kulusevski. So I don't know if VAR will have a look at this, but basically he was being held, Kulusevski, by Cucurella as he was pressing him. And as he released the ball, Cucurella just gave him a little light shove in the back, nothing too sinister. You see it in a lot of Premier League games, in a lot of football games. And he obviously didn't like it, and he just threw a bit of an elbow towards, I think it was the chest of Cucurella, and Craig Pawson's dealt with it as a yellow card. And VAR may have had a look at it, but didn't tell him to have a look at the monitor or anything like that. They're happy with the referee's decision, and we're back underway. But that just shows, the slight aggression that Dejan Kulusevski does have in his game. As Tottenham send the ball down the left channel, it'll be collected by Yves Bissouma as Son just gets there a little too late. And Sanchez can work it back out to Yves Bissouma in the right back area for Brighton. Clip down the line. Up towards Tariq Lamptey, who takes a touch, and it's a beautiful one. And he gets the return from McAllister. Lamptey on the right. Cross early, too much on it for McAllister, and had to be headed behind by Emerson Royal. Good positive play there from Brighton. Tariq Lamptey did well to get ahead of Reguilon and continue his run down the right. And got it from McAllister, and he tried to find the return to the Argentine, but too heavy. And then Emerson Royal took no risks to head it behind for a corner on the Brighton left-hand side. I think it's their second one of the match so far, as we're just over 28 minutes into this game. A little bit of pushing in the box. Craig Pawson's just letting Emerson Royal and Moises Caicedo know that he's got his eyes on it. So no fouling. It's going to be an in-swinging ball. Crossed in. Gone all the way through, and an important touch at the back post takes it away from McAllister. And it'll be a free kick for Tottenham, as I think there was an offside on Leandro Trossard. Great ball in, flicked on by Veltman. Oh, and Trossard just took it away from McAllister, who'd got around the back post unmarked. Great flick on. Oh, it came off the knee of Bentancur, actually. And he took it away from McAllister, who would have had a free shot yards away from the back post. Important interception there by Rodrigo Bentancur. And that was a really good flick on as well by Veltman, the 6-foot centre-half. Joe Veltman is versatile, though, in his position at the back. He can play right back. He's played 14 times at right back in the Premier League so far this season, and 12 at centre-back. As Eric Dyer has at the back for Tottenham. Just outside the 18-yard box. Forward into Son. This is possessed there by Tariq Lamptey for a Tottenham throw-in. And Tottenham have scored 2 or more goals in their last 7 Premier League games. The longest run they've got with scoring 2 or more in Premier League matches in a row was 11 back in 2011 through September to December. So if they score two or more again today, that will go to 8 in a row. So they'll be getting close to that record of 11 games in a row with scoring 2 or more goals in the Premier League. Højbjerg on the halfway line. Diagonal switch into the box to the left towards Reguilon. Headed back to his keeper though by Lamptey. Good, composed defending there by the young 21-year-old. And he's well collected well by Robert Sanchez. Ball in towards Yves Bissouma. Trossard. Caicedo into Cucurella. Into McAllister. First time ball into Caicedo. Good football here from Brighton. And he's chopped from behind there, Caicedo. And he wins the free kick in the Tottenham half. Really silky play there from Brighton. Playing the Graham Potter way. And it was definitely a free kick. Emerson Royal getting none of the ball. And taking out Moses Caicedo, who's only making his second ever Premier League appearance after making his debut last week. It's going to be a free kick here. I think it's Pascal Gross over it. It's a high line from Tottenham. Around 10 yards above the 18-yard box. And he dinks it towards the left-hand side where Mwepu will give chase. And it will be seen out by Christian Romero. Good defending by the Argentine. And Mwepu wasn't giving up with that. He was chasing it the whole way. But it was a poor ball down the left channel in the end by Pascal Gross. And the goal kick's been taken quickly by Lloris into Dyer. Edge of the box to Højbjerg. Not being pressed yet. He's wanting more options, Højbjerg. He's not happy with the movement of Dejan Kulusevski. Now Ben Davies, lifted ball down the line, in behind. Son won't get there ahead of Lewis Dunk. And he'll play it out to Tariq Lamptey, who's been pressed by Kane. Being forced back to Veltman. Then back in to Lamptey. Nearly tackled by Son. But it's now with Veltman. Forward to Bissouma, who lets it run across his body. I really do like Yves Bissouma. He's a really good midfielder. Really calm in this Brighton midfield. He makes it tick really well, Yves Bissouma. And Mwepu. Now they've entered the Tottenham half. Works it wide right into Pascal Gross. Down the line into Lamptey in the shaded Tottenham half where you can barely see the players. Thank God Tottenham are wearing a white kit. There's Gross. Drills it across. That's a really interesting ball. A diagonal ball straight through the 18-yard box and no Brighton player committed towards it. And that's usually the issue sometimes when you play without a recognised striker like Brighton are today. Not playing with an out-and-out striker, and, you know, sometimes the midfielders don't know how to make those instinctive runs across. And again, no real opportunities for Tottenham in terms of off-your-seat opportunities as they gave away the ball here straight to Robert Sanchez as they look for a ball forward. But Brighton, they've had that deflected strike by Enoch Mwepu around 10 minutes ago. They've had a corner that was flicked on by Veltman at the near post and nearly got to an unmarked McAllister at the back post. So Brighton definitely playing positively, and why wouldn't you when you just beat Arsenal away 2-1 and Bissouma chopped down by Bentancur, and that'll be a foul, and the cards are out again from Craig Pawson. Yellow card for the Uruguayan midfielder on loan from Juventus. Craig Pawson now with 3 yellow cards for Mwepu, Bentancur and Kulusevski as he stays down Bissouma, and Højbjerg is asking for an explanation from Craig Pawson. Bissouma just chasing one of his heavy touches, and definite yellow card. Bissouma got the ball away from Bentancur. He got none of the ball, took out the man. Definite yellow card and a foul for Bentancur, and for Brighton to take this free kick. Again, it's a free kick just inside the Tottenham half, and their line is high, but they'll try and get in behind it if they can. Brighton with a clip ball towards the right. Dunk will try and rise to get it over his head, and Lamptey can't keep it alive, and that'll be a goal kick for Tottenham. Again, not really capitalising as well as they should be. Brighton from these set pieces that they're getting. They've won a few free kicks just inside the Tottenham half, and nothing's really come of them as of yet. As Tottenham play out from the back, Kulusevski looking for a ball in towards the midfield, and Son has to help him out, and they just about work it away from the Brighton press, but they're still under pressure, with Dyer having to go back to Lloris in his 6-yard box, to Romero, being chased down by Moses Caicedo. Works it to Emerson Royal. Down the line to Kulusevski. 1-2 with Emerson Royal, and he bursts away here, the Brazilian. Into the Brighton half he goes, met by the strong challenge there of Cucurella, and he wins a throw-in for his side as he tackled it off of Emerson Royal. And they take it quickly with Caicedo. Good work here by the midfielder. Mwepu to his right to Pascal Gross. Just about works it to Lamptey as he gets in towards the final third. Gross with the cross. And chested into the hands of Lloris. Good composed defending that from Emerson Royal. No one around him, but calmly done. As Lloris goes down the left this time. Just under 10 minutes left of the half. Plus any added on time Craig Pawson thinks we should get, as Son is strongly brought down there in his own half by Joel Veltman. And Veltman stayed down holding his face as well. Let's have a look. He went through Son. Yeah, went through Son, and it is a foul, but as Son was kind of holding off the defenders, as Veltman's gone into him, he's just been hit in the face there by Son. I don't think he meant it. Two players get on with the game. It's a free kick for Tottenham in their own half. As it's been a game with few chances. 36 minutes in. With Eric Dyer on the ball. Did get one win each in their meetings last season between these two sides. Spurs won at home 2-1. And then Brighton won at their ground 1-0 through Leandro Trossard. You might remember when they won that game, they were struggling badly for home wins last season. Brighton. And it's the same again this season. They've only won 3 games at home this season against Watford, Leicester and Brentford. 2-0 wins and then a 2-1 win as well. And Brighton did get off to a great start to the season. They got 12 points out of a possible 15 in their first 5 games. That drop of 3 points did come to Everton at home under Rafa Benitez at the time. And Tottenham have scored the most goals in the Premier League in 2022 with 34. 13 more than both Chelsea and Manchester City. And they have scored a lot of goals, and that has come through the front three of Kulusevski, Harry Kane and Heung-min Son. I think they'll be desperate to try and get Kulusevski on a permanent transfer in the summer. He's only 21 years of age, the Swedish international, as the long ball goes up towards Kane. 1-2 with Reguilon, and it had to be dealt with by Cucurella in the box as Robert Sanchez catches in the sky. Well defended there by Mark Cucurella as a lifted ball went in towards Kane. He won the ball ahead of Dunk, and Cucurella had to deal with it as Reguilon headed it back towards Kane. And as he kicked it into the sky, Robert Sanchez caught ahead of Harry Kane. As Sanchez just fell towards the ankle of Kane as he collected the ball, and he's just feeling the impact of that. The 28-year-old English striker who's got 7 hat-tricks in his Premier League career, making his 380th Premier League, 380th Spurs appearance, 7 goals away from 250 for the club. Lewis Dunk has it at the back for Brighton as they look to try and draw the first blood here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. As Pascal Gross goes across to Lewis Dunk on the halfway line. Working out to Pascal Gross as Brighton push forward. A ball into the box, cleared away by the volley of Christian Romero. It finds Kane, who brings it down, and he sets away Dejan Kulusevski, but once again Cucurella gets the better of the Swede. And it's Dunk who has to chase the backwards clearance, and he gets it to his goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez. Veltman. And it looks like a good following on this Easter weekend on the Saturday from the Brighton fans, and they may have something to cheer about as Cucurella makes an advancing run into the Tottenham half. He lays it off into Leandro Trossard. They want to really aim at up front for Brighton. Like I said, they've not got a striker on, so they're struggling to find a man up front to kind of hold it up to. They have got Neil Maupay and Danny Welbeck on the bench if they need to call on a striker. Veltman crossing, headed away by Dyer. Straight to Kane. Turns, lays it off, I think back into Dyer, and he's looking for a ball towards Son on the left. Misplaced again, and it can be recovered by Joel Veltman. And it's not been the greatest of halves for Tottenham. Bit lacklustre, despite being 4 wins in a row currently in the Premier League, as Ben Davies takes Mwepu out from behind, and that'll be a free kick for Brighton. But Brighton have only won one of their last 10 Premier League matches. And that was last week to Arsenal. Like I said, as Robert Sanchez caught that previous ball on Kane, he did fall on his ankle, but it looks like Kane will be okay. As that Brighton free kick has been taken, the ball across to Pascal Gross, and right back to Robert Sanchez. I don't know why he's done that. A lot of Brighton players confused why he sent it all the way back to the keeper when they were in the Tottenham half, and Sanchez drills it up towards Mwepu. And he's already on a yellow, and that's a high boot towards the Tottenham defender. For me, that's not a red, because Mwepu's put his foot up in the air to try and control the ball. And Ben Davies has gone in with his head, so it makes it look a lot worse than it is. It probably is a free kick, but there was no malicious intent there by Mwepu to actually cause a high-footed foul. The ball's up in the sky, and he just tried to control it with his right boot. And Ben Davies has gone in with his head. That's what the point Lewis Dunk's making, the Brighton captain. You know, his foot's there, and Ben Davies has gone with his head, so he's gone in like that, and it's forced it to look a lot worse than it probably is. I'd like to see a replay of that. I definitely wouldn't give a red card, and I don't think Craig Pawson is hurrying to give his 3rd red card in the Premier League this season. So but the ball lifted in towards Mwepu. Yeah, he just tried to control with his right foot, and Ben Davies just went in with his head. It just you know, accidental. He didn't mean it. It's just, you know, one went with his foot, one went with the head, and they've collided a little bit, but no worries from the referee. Play will continue, which will be a Tottenham free kick, and they've already taken it, and they've got it along their back 3 with Eric Dyer, looking to break the lines of this resolute Brighton defence that we've seen in this first 42.5 minutes. Kulusevski gets it halfway inside the Brighton half, lays it off into Emerson Royal. Ball inside towards Bentancur, misses him out, and will fall to Ben Davies. Then into Bentancur. Højbjerg, ball drilled in towards Kane, well read by Yves Bissouma. Finds Mwepu, turns to look forward, tries to go around the long way of Sergio Reguilon, and that'll be a free kick for Brighton in their own half. Reguilon, knowing that would have been a dangerous counter-attack, and just had to stop the Zambian midfielder in any way possible, and that's just by standing in his way and pulling him to the ground. That Enoch Mwepu does have Champions experience as well. He's got 11 Champions League appearances under his belt with RB Salzburg. Didn't score in any of those 11. And this is the first time he's played Tottenham. He was on the bench against them in the Premier League, didn't get on the pitch, and he was injured for the FA Cup match in early February, as it's back with Lloris as Brighton give away the ball with a ball forward. Again, looking for Alexis McAllister up front, but not finding the 5'9" Argentine, who's making his 30th appearance of the season in all competitions. And all of his goals in this campaign have been in the Premier League, and he's got 4 of them. Davies to Reguilon, right-footed ball inside, intercepted by Pascal Gross, works it back to Veltman. And then he has to turn as well and go back to Robert Sanchez. Been at the club now since 2013, made his breakthrough during the COVID season. And Mark Cucurella has it on the left-hand side. The man signed in the summer from Getafe. Great player, Mark Cucurella. He's also got European experience. He made 8 Europa League appearances for Getafe. is Pascal Gross. Sees a switch on to Cucurella. Nice ball as they camp themselves into the Tottenham half as they look to break through before half-time. Bissouma. Cucurella tackled by Kulusevski, but takes the throw in quickly to Bissouma. They're going to try the right-hand side this time with Veltman. To Lamptey. And Wepu, 1-2 with Lamptey, poor touch. And he loses out to Højbjerg, who loses out to Enoch Wepu, who fouls again on the edge of the Tottenham box. And he just has to be careful. Pawson, the referee, keeping his cards in his pocket for now. Oh, he stamped on the foot, you know. And Wepu needs to be careful. That could have easily been a second yellow. And he's possibly lucky it's not. He's bringing over Enoch Wepu for another chat here, Craig Pawson. Oh, he's bringing Dunk over as well. As we've got 2 minutes of added on time. 30 seconds already played. I think for Wepu, it's one more challenge and you're off. So we could see him be substituted, which is unfortunate because he had such a good game against Arsenal last week in Wepu. He got the goal and the assist. And he's going to survive. But Graham Potter should see himself lucky they still got 11 men on the field. Because he got a yellow card for a carbon copy challenge. He got a yellow card for a stamp on the foot of Reguilon. And then he's just stamped on the top of the foot of Højbjerg there. As Tottenham give it away. Poor switch out. And Brighton can get forward. Trossard. Caicedo out towards Cucurella. Good interception by Romero, but can't avoid the throw-in. Throw for Brighton in the final third. I think they've definitely been a better team in this first 45. As we've been forced back to the centre-half, Lewis Dunk. He's only ever been at Brighton despite one loan spell, and it was a 1-month loan from October to November in 2013 when he went to Bristol City. But other than that, he's been Brighton through and through. Pascal Gross being found in between the lines and gets it to Tariq Lamptey on the right. Cross towards the far post, no one's there. And Emerson Royal can clear despite being pressured by McAllister. It's not a great clearance, but Kulusevski's tackled Cucurella, but he loses out again. And Kulusevski's gone down, but Brighton will continue as no foul was seen by the referee. And Wepu sees a strike from afar. Easy catch in the end by Hugo Lloris. As we've played over 2 minutes of added on time. Kulusevski's still down on the ground though. As McAllister got the ball back. Oh, as he was running towards the ball, Cucurella and Kulusevski kind of met like that, and he just stomped on the ankle of Kulusevski. It was completely accidental. They've just run across each other, and unfortunately, as Cucurella was putting his right boot down, he caught the ankle of Dejan Kulusevski. It was accidental, it definitely was. And just before half time, any treatment needed for Dejan Kulusevski can be met with the Tottenham physios. Craig Pawson drops the ball to Lloris, who had it from the saved shot from Enoch Wepu, and we should be seeing half time any second now. And we do. Craig Pawson blows for a full time that has consisted of 48 minutes of football, and it's not been the most exciting game of football, we must admit. No real chances, to be honest, before the 22nd minute, and that's when the first chance came. It was a block in the box from Ben Davies after an Mwepu shot. Looked like it was going towards the far right-hand side corner of the goal, but Ben Davies blocked, and he conceded the corner instead of the goal. And Mwepu, 4 minutes later, got a yellow card from a stamp on Reguilon's foot. He's possibly lucky he's not sent off after committing a similar challenge right before half-time. And a minute after, in Mwepu's first yellow card, Dejan Kulusevski got a booking after a elbow to the chest to Mark Cucurella after being frustrated with the aggressive press from the Spaniard. And other than that, there's not been real chances. And that's about it. The only real chance has been that shot blocked by Mwepu. Brighton have got a few good dangerous crosses in, but without playing with a recognised striker, they've not had anyone on the end of those crosses. So at half-time, it is Tottenham 0, Brighton 0. Very poor half from Tottenham. They've had one shot in the entire game, and it was off target. They've only had 52% possession, so it's very even possession. And Brighton have had 5 shots with 2 on target. So Graham Potter's men have definitely been the better side, with more chances created, more shots, and more crosses for sure. At half-time, but it is a 0-0, and it's not been the most exciting of matches, we must admit. I do try and make any game sound as exciting as I can, but sometimes games just aren't meant to be, blockbusters, and it hasn't been so far. But do stay for the second half, because, Antonio Conte won't be happy with that performance from his Spurs men, so they could get a kick up the backside, and we might see a different Spurs in the second half. But at half-time, Spurs 0, Brighton 0. Spurs have also got some big games coming up. They've got Brentford away in a week's time, then they've got a home game to Leicester, then they've got Liverpool away, and then Arsenal at home. So not the easiest of 4 games. Brentford away is not easy. We've seen West Ham drop points to them last week. Then Leicester at home, they're starting to pick up form under Rodgers as well. They got to a European semi-final for the first time in the week as they beat PSV to get to the Europa Conference semi-final. Liverpool away, never easy game, we know that. And then Arsenal at home, North London derby. Anything can happen on derby day. And those 2 teams will be desperate for 3 points to try and cling on to this 4th spot. With Tottenham, the team currently in the 4th spot. If they do draw today, they will be 4 points above Arsenal, but Arsenal will have 2 games in hand, and Arsenal do have a game to play today, and that is Southampton away, which isn't easy away to play against Ralph Hasenhüttl. Just want to see if any social media reaction has been made through that Dejan Kulusevski elbow. We'll see it at half-time again where they'll analyse it. No, not seeing much. No, not many people, I don't think, are interested in this game. No reaction so far. But you feel like for Spurs, if they want to be getting that 4th spot, no disrespect to Brighton, but at home against teams like Brighton who are in the bottom half of the table, despite being a great footballing side, you've got to win those games. You've got to be winning these games because, like I said, they've got 4 fixtures coming up. Tottenham, that are difficult. They're not easy games. Drop points can be created for sure from these next 4 games that they've got. The likes of Brentford, Leicester, Liverpool, and Arsenal as well. We've got objectives of their own. Leicester will want to be getting as many points as possible after a poor season. Liverpool, they're in a title race, big title race. They play them on the 7th of May, so that's in around 3 weeks' time. But the next commentaries coming up as well are in 2 weeks' time. In about 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks' time, we've got RB Leipzig versus Rangers in the Europa League semi-final first leg, and then a week after that, we have got Rangers versus RB Leipzig in the second leg at Ibrox. So look out for those 2 commentaries after this in a couple weeks' time, where we really get to the nail-biting end to the European season. I'll see what Andy's saying. Being busy cleaning in the bathroom before the missus comes home, so being appreciating the commentary. Well, I hope the commentary is supplying your need for not being able to watch the game with a bit of cleaning on a Saturday lunchtime. Like I said, unfortunately, it's not been the best of games, so I hope I've made it sound as exciting as possible, despite it honestly being a little bit boring, to be honest. But, like I say, a lot of people comment, I've had people cooking and listening to commentaries. We've got a man doing the cleaning before the missus gets home. So yeah, like I said, it's not the greatest the game so far. I'm not gonna make out like it's an amazing 0-0. It's not been. It's been pretty rubbish, to be honest. But like I said, hopefully the commentary's making it seem a little bit more exciting than what it actually is. But no, I hope we get that clean done before the FA Cup semi-final. Get your feet up, because that is obviously a big game, is it? Because I was going to do Manchester City versus Liverpool, but I thought, no, I want to watch it, but just as a football fan. I recently moved to Australia, so it's 10:30. Wow, commentary's been great. Thank you very much for the compliment. I don't remember seeing you in a stream before. If you have commented in the stream before, I do apologise, but if you haven't, please like and subscribe. Thanks for the compliment. And it's a late one, isn't it? There, 10:30 here. That is a late one. They're just having a look at the elbow there, and Kulusevski for that elbow in the 27th minute. He is a lucky boy. Does that catch him in the face? It either catches his chin or the top of his chest. If Kulusevski catches the face of Mark Cucurella, that's got to be a red card. Yeah, I mean, in terms of watching the FA Cup semi-final, if it's already 10:30 where you are now, it'll be, 12:30 when Manchester City play Liverpool. So maybe not. But to be fair, I'm a big fan of F1. I got into it last season. It was my first full season watching it last year. Watching it again, and obviously last season there was no Australian Grand Prix. This year there was, and I was up at 6:00 in the morning on a Sunday watching the race, and it was a killer. It really was. I have a lot more sympathy for the Australians out there, or people who live in Australia who have to get up at such ridiculous times for European sport. I really do have a lot of respect for it. I did anyway, but now I've had to do it myself. I was like, don't want to be doing that again. But yeah, we're just under 5 minutes away from the second half, and then they are also talking about this in Mwepu. Second yellow. He got a yellow about 25 minutes into the game, and then just before half time, he committed 2 challenges. One was a high boot on Ben Davies, which I really don't think was a yellow. He's gone to control the ball with his foot, and then Ben Davies is stooped low with his head, and he's just nearly caught him on the head. I really don't think. I don't think that's a foul. But then the one where he stamped on the foot of Højbjerg on the edge of the box, for me, I think that's a second yellow, personally. Craig Bolton's not give it. And then they're talking about a Cucurella red card when he stamped on Kulusevski's ankle right on half time. I don't think that's a red card. I think that was accidental. Literally, Kulusevski was running that way, Cucurella was running that way, and they've kind of met like that, and he's just trodden on his ankle backs, and I don't think there's any malicious intent, but I definitely think there should be at least one red card. And I think Mwepu's lucky he's not got it, and Mwepu's the man who's had the only chance of the game so far. It was a deflected shot wide of the post, and also Veltman had a good chance as well. I did forget that. Veltman had a good chance in the box when it was pulled back by Gross, but it was blocked by Kane. First time watching your channel. Nice one. Nice seeing new people in. I respect for getting up again. Yeah, I know. I got up for qualifying as well, but that was at 7 o'clock in the morning, so it wasn't as bad as 6. That 1 hour extra sleep, it kills you a lot. I got up for Rangers game the other night. That's your team at 5 a.m. Well, I commentated on Rangers quarter final against Braga, the 2 legs, and they were actually my 2 most viewed ever commentaries I've done. The first leg got 3,100 views, and the second leg got 4,700 views. So like I said, if you want an alternative commentary from the TV commentary when you watch Rangers versus RB Leipzig in a couple of weeks' time, then I'll be doing those 2 legs as well. But it's great to see your team's Rangers, and Rangers brought in some amazing people in the stream, and we've got another one here. I used to watch Formula 1 for a few seasons when Hamilton was first on the scene, like 2008ish, and keep meaning to get back into it. Yeah, I never watched it. Growing up, I never watched it. It just wasn't a thing that was ever on. And one of my mates said, "Watch Drive to Survive," the Netflix series. It's gone a bit off now. The new season of Drive to Survive, I didn't really like it. I thought it was a bit, it just didn't make sense. It was a weird one. But I watched the first season. I think I watched the first 2 seasons. I was like, this is amazing. This is really good. So like I said, my first ever season was last season. I watched every single race last season, and it was absolutely incredible. I mean, the ending, you can have your opinions on the ending. It was a bit controversial, but I mean, in terms of the full season, I really enjoyed it. Great drama, and the season's been a good start as well so far. So yeah, I am enjoying it very much. So I'm not going to act like I'm an F1 expert. I really don't know the ins and outs of the sport, but I've been watching it now for the last season and the start of this one as well. But the second half is coming up in a couple minutes' time. Hopefully we'll get a more exciting half than the first one. The first one wasn't anything to remember, to be honest. I don't think I will be remembering it when this game's done, to be honest. Swap the camera out as well, actually. But on this Easter weekend, football everywhere. Loads of football yesterday. The Championship, I think Sky Sports showed 4 games. I think they showed 4 Championship games. They showed one at 12:30, one at 3, one at 5:30, and one at 8. Great coverage. I was out yesterday, so I actually missed all the football. I didn't watch any of it until Derby played Fulham at the 8 o'clock kickoff. Derby were bottom of the league come that game because the other teams had played. We were playing top of the league Fulham, and if Fulham had won, they would have won promotion back. Not won the league, but they would have guaranteed themselves first or second place, which is automatics in the Championship. And they went 1-0 up Fulham, and then in the second half, Derby really fought back. They've got some great young players who have really stepped up during this time of struggle, and they won 2-1 against top of the league, and they've thoroughly deserved great energy, and I did enjoy that game, to be fair. But then we've got the Premier League and the FA Cup this Saturday and Sunday, and then Easter Monday, we've got the non-league National League. I'll be watching my team, Stockport County, at home to Solihull, who did lose, unfortunately, Stockport County on yesterday to Grimsby away, but hopefully we can rebound on Monday. And also the Championship, League 1, League 2, they'll also be playing Monday as well. When did you start the channel? What made you get into commentaries quickly? Game about to start. I know, yeah. But I don't think we'll be missing much, to be honest, if the second half's anything like the first. Started the channel at the start of the 2019-2020 season. First commentary was Liverpool-Norwich. I didn't even have a mic. My mic hadn't arrived at the time. I didn't have a camera. My notes wasn't detailed. I just did an overview of the squad. Nothing about the players. It wasn't great. So I started then. Did quite a few. COVID hit of the March of 2020 of that season. And then I think ever since after COVID, I think my commentary skills in the channel's really just grown a lot. I think I've improved a lot since the COVID lockdown and when the football returned. I think my commentary's really improved. There's not been as many this season because of I've started college, so it's very busy, man. You can't, the notes I do, you just can't, I can only do limited games. And I got into it, and it's when I was younger, I played FIFA all the time, on the Wii at first, and then the Xbox. And when I was playing on FIFA, I just commentate over my games, like I was the commentator. When I played career mode, if I was whatever team or whatever, I just commentated over the games, and it's just something I've always been passionate about and always wanted to do. And I thought, if I want to make it as a career, then I've got to start somewhere. So I thought, let's start a YouTube channel, get some experience doing it. And this is commentary 126, and I've enjoyed every single one of them. And yeah, that's how I got into it, just by commentating my games on FIFA, wanting to do it as a possible job. So I wanted to get some experience, and I thought doing it on YouTube was the way. So yeah, that's how I got into it. That's when I started and all that. But we have got a change in the game, and I did say before half time they should do it, and they have done it. Graham Potter has made a change. Enoch Nwepu, the midfielder, who got a goal and an assist last week against Arsenal away, he's been brought off after somehow avoiding a red card after two challenges that the exact same. One got a yellow and one didn't. So he stayed on the pitch, and they've replaced him with a striker. Danny Welbeck comes on, so they've got a vocal point now up front. They've got a target man, something they definitely lacked in the first half. timer underway. I forgot again. I forgot in the last commentary I did for Rangers. I forgot to set the timer for the second half. Reddish Rose loving the commentary, Zach. Thank you very much. Well, like I said, I wish this game was a lot better than it is, but hopefully the second half is much better because Tottenham were pretty rubbish in the first half. Brighton were okay, but didn't create many chances where you got off your seat and got excited. It's probably a good thing that this game's probably given my voice a bit of a break because the amount of shouting and strain I put on my voice on Thursday, a 3-hour plus stream, it was crazy. It was great. It really was. But we're back underway in this game. Tottenham with possession just on the halfway line with Eric Dyer. It's Christian Romero. Pass inside, gone short, and it can be brought away here by Moses Caicedo. Got Welbeck making a run inside. He goes across towards Pascal Gross. It's a short ball, and it can be cleared away by Ben Davies, only as far as the back line of Brighton, where they restart with their goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez. Lewis Dunk gets it to Mark Cucurella. Looks like they may have gone for a back four now. Brighton playing with a back three, back four in the first half. They were changing through defence and attack. There's a long ball by Brighton. That's really poor. Didn't hit Welbeck. Instead, he went straight to Romero, who's sent a long ball himself up towards Son. Headed on by Veltman into Lamptey. Forward into McAllister. Kicked in the back of the leg by Ben Davies, and that'll be a free kick for Brighton. That's Epic Dude, thanks for sharing. You seem very comfortable in front of the camera and communicate. Yeah, it's just doing it a lot. Because obviously, like I've done 126 commentaries now. You just get used to it. You like I say, you just once you've done it loads of times, you know when to say things, when to bring in stats, when to say stats, when to focus on the game. You just get used to it. But thanks for the compliments. Back to the bathroom, I know. Yeah, back to the bathroom. Get cleaning, mate. Have Son in my FPL team, so I want a goal from it. I've got Son and Kane, so yeah, I could do some Tottenham goals as well, to be fair. As Welbeck gets it, tries to hold it up. Can't quite do so, but Caicedo does nick it off Romero, but there was a foul beforehand as Benton Kerr was brought to the ground by Moses Caicedo, who seems like he's got a lot of energy, the 20-year-old midfielder, only making his second ever Premier League appearance, and a long ball again from Tottenham's gone astray, and Brighton have it again. Basuma in the Tottenham half gets it out to Lamptey. We know he's got a lot of pace, but he's been halted by Reguilon, and he has to just force himself back to Basuma. Completes a 1-2 with McAllister. We'll answer that question in a minute as Trossard has it on the left. Back to Cucurella. Inside to Basuma. Cross it goes to Veltman. Inspired by Mark Goldbridge. Not inspired at all, to be honest. I watch him, and I do definitely try and match his energy and his charisma because, he is funny. I mean, I'm not a United fan. As Welbeck's tried to be found in behind here with a long ball. Easy header back to Lloris. Yeah, I'm not inspired by him, but I definitely take things from his content that he does, the way he is. Because, he's a very likeable person. Maybe if you're not a United fan, you might think some of his views are just crazy. But, I mean, like I said, I do like the way he holds himself. Funny. I say charismatic. So, yeah. Definitely take inspiration from him in terms of the way he is. But I didn't start this channel, for example, because of him. But like I said, I do watch him every now and then. I think if you really strip it down, I mean, even when you're not a United fan, I think everyone loves a bit of Goldbridge, to be fair. It's Brighton have it. They enter the Tottenham half on the right. Starting how they had the first half in control, really. Tottenham have struggled this game. They really have. Obviously, the week's break from Aston Villa hasn't done them good. As Lamptey tries to get a cross in, it deflects into the box. Dealt with by Dyer. Clears up the field. Pushing the back there by Son. That'll be a free kick for Tottenham. Veltman gives it away. As the Under Armour has come off for Son. Short sleeve shirt. It means business. Son just rubbing the back of his head after getting the ball kicked in the back of his head at a very slow speed. Dyer has it at the back for Spurs. Was at Sporting Lisbon from 2003 to 2014 after his mother earned a job for the Portuguese Euros in 2004. As Son has it here with a shot that is deflected, and if we're going to be honest, that's Tottenham's first real big chance, and it wasn't really that dangerous. I mean, they got a throw-in on the left. It was a long throw-in into the box. Son took it down beautifully, got it over the head of Veltman and worked a volley, and then it was blocked by Veltman. But even if Veltman wasn't in the way, I think it would have been a comfortable save for Sanchez, as the Spaniard has it in his hands now. It's, like I said, Eric Dyer, sporting for 11 years. His mother got a job for the Euros. That was in Portugal in 2004, and he stayed there since 2014. He left England at the age of 10. Now at the age of 28 and 313 Spurs appearances later. Did have a brief loan spell at Everton. On loan at their under-18s. I think it was in 2011 to 2012. It's a free kick for Brighton. Kulusevski conceding the free kick. Craig Pawson has had 2 red cards this season in the Premier League that he's handed out, and they've been 2 pretty controversial red cards in fairness. The first one was Pascal Struijk. You might remember his leg-breaking challenge on Harvey Elliott, and then his other red card was for Allen for Everton against Newcastle in that recent game where we had the protester strap himself to the post, and he originally gave a yellow card, then went to the monitor and gave a red card. That caused controversy as well. And in this game, he probably should have bandaged another red card out to Enoch Mwepu, who's had to come off at half-time for the fact that he is one challenge away from a red. Cucurella throws it into Welbeck on the left-hand side of the box, keeps it away from Dyer, gets into Cucurella, cross, blocked by Højbjerg. It falls to Kulusevski, who's swarmed by Brighton players, and kicks it off Veltman for a throw-in for his team. Emerson Royale with a throw-in, the right wing-back. Højbjerg offers for the ball, and he volleys it away up into the London sky, where Kane can't win the header on dunk. Kulusevski looks to try and get it. Tackled by Trossard, and it'll be a Tottenham throw-in into the Brighton half they go. With Emerson Royale throwing it back to Eric Dyer, whose last goal was against Everton back in mid-May of 2019. He's almost gone 3 years without a goal, Eric Dyer, which isn't great for a centre-back who, possesses the height he does. 6'2", he's dangerous from set pieces, Eric Dyer. So yeah, no goal in the last 3 years for Eric, which is, a crazy stat that I found when researching the English centre-half. As Kulusevski once again tackled by Cucurella, Tottenham throwing. Kulusevski wants to take it quickly, and he does towards Kane. Emerson Royale caught late by Yves Bissouma, and Bissouma disagrees. Not happy with the decision. Free kick in a dangerous area on the right-hand side for Tottenham. Emerson Royale chested it forward, and I don't think that's a foul for me. Both players went up with a high boot, and I think Bissouma nicked the ball ahead of Emerson Royale. Poor decision that for me. I don't think that's a free kick, and this is a really dangerous position on the far right. This could end up in a really dangerous cross for Tottenham. Could Eric Dyer break his curse? Have I lifted the Eric Dyer curse from mentioning how he hasn't scored in nearly 3 years? Because he's in that box looking to maybe get a flick on. The right foot of Son and the left foot of Kulusevski stands over this free kick. Son runs over it. Kulusevski goes into Bentancur, then down the right-hand side towards Son. Just about keeps it in back to Kulusevski. Plays it back into Bentancur. Can they work across? And across it goes to Højbjerg. Reguilon pokes it towards Kane. Back to goal. Forces it into Højbjerg. Then lifts it into the box. Headed away in the end by Trossard. Fall to number 30, Rodrigo Bentancur. Works away from the challenge of Moses Caicedo. And he tackles Bentancur. And he wins the throw-in. The Brighton midfielder, to the frustration of Rodrigo Bentancur. Really wasted free kick. I don't get why they tried to be clever with it. Just get it in the box. It was a really good area for a free kick to just get a crossing. Antonio Conte is reaching up towards game 100 in the Premier League. This is game 98 that he's managed in this league. With Tottenham and Chelsea. Did win the Premier League with Chelsea back in 2016-2017. As Tottenham are already back in possession with Romero at the back. Bit of a better last 5 minutes for Tottenham. Son. Back into Eric Dyer, who can speak in Spanish, with Reguilon trying to retreat the ball from going out, but he can't avoid the goal kick for Brighton. It was an adventurous ball and it didn't reach the former Real Madrid left back. Reguilon, who was at Real Madrid for 15 years through his youth days and into his pro career from 2005 to 2020, was born in Madrid as well. Sergio Reguilon. There was interest from Chelsea and Manchester United before he made the decision to join Spurs. Header flicked on by Welbeck. Falls to Pascal Gross in the end. Lamptey tries to go around the long way around Højbjerg, but the Dane says no, and he gets a nice ball into Davies. Inside towards Benton Kerr, gets away from Caicedo and releases Kane. Ball forward to Son, his advantage is played. He gets out wide to Reguilon, in the box on the left. Pulls it back to Son, he's unmarked, can take a touch and shoot. Key block, Benton Kerr from afar, he decides to strike. And wide of the post it goes. I think the block was from Trossard in the end. Son got the pull back from Reguilon. He was able to take a touch and shoot. And there was a key block in there. I'm not saying it definitely was Trossard, but there was a chance as Basuma picks up a booking. As when Kane released it to Son, he was tripped from behind by Basuma. That's where the advantage was played. Like I say, pull back from Reguilon. Son takes a touch 12 yards out. Good block from Trossard, who it was, as the ball was aiming towards that bottom right corner. Good interception by the Belgian. Doing that left wing-back role really well, because like I said, he's very much known for his attacking play. That goal he got against Arsenal last week, Trossard, was his first since Boxing Day. As Welbeck gets it on the left of the box. Great touch and a strike that's curled for a throw-in. That's really poor from Danny Welbeck, the half-time substitute. They definitely offered them a new way forward, Welbeck, with his height. And he got the diagonal ball ahead of Benton Kerr and then hurried the volley. And then, like I said, went for a throw-in. Dispossessed in the box. Caicedo, heavy touch, and it can be tackled away for a corner. Tottenham survive, giving away the ball. I didn't quite catch it because the cameras came on it late. Oh, Reguilon tried to chop past, I think it was McAllister. He pulled it back towards Welbeck. He went beyond him into Caicedo, who tried to work space for a shot, but it was closed down quickly, and that's how the corner's being given to Tottenham. Now into Brighton. Risky play at the back there as we're 15 minutes into the second half, and it's still goalless. Pascal Gross over it, the number 13. It'll be an in-swinging ball towards the centre of the box. Important header there by Harry Kane and then hooked away by Son. It'll be retreated by Basuma. He will keep it in nicely away from Kulusevski. What a player. He's so good. He's Basuma. I'm a big, big fan of the 25-year-old midfielder. He has had interest from the likes of Arsenal, and I think Aston Villa have also been in contact as well, with the man making his 6th start in 8 Premier League games against Spurs. Joined the club in 2018 from Lille, the French side. Cucurella works it to Leandro Trossard. He's going to work his way inside, then back out on the left-hand side. 1-on-1 with Emerson Royal. Nifty footwork by the Belgian. Scoops it in towards the box where Caicedo's making the run. Dealt with by Rodrigo Benton Kerr, but he only volleys out for a throw-in. As the pressure can be kept alive here by Brighton. Not a great game, and like I said, in the last 7 games in the Premier League for Tottenham, they have scored 2 or more goals. In this game, they're struggling to score 1. Cucurella, the Spanish left back, has got the throw-in. Goes down the line to Leandro Trossard, tackled by Emerson Royale, and Kulusevski's tackled by Cucurella, as it looks like there's going to be a change for Tottenham. It looks like Lucas Moura is getting stripped and ready. Development heads it forward to Benton Kerr, lifts it into Kane, headed on by Son, header lost by Son to Veltman, who gets it towards Welbeck, but it's dealt with by Benton Kerr, and the Tottenham half. It's now Ben Davies, back to Benton Kerr, whose last goal was in the January 2020 against Roma, so he's not scored since the COVID pandemic in club football. Benton Kerr is, again, Tottenham can't break through this Brighton defence. Much improved. Literally a month ago, Tottenham went to the Amex and beat Brighton 2-0. And they also beat them 3-1 in the FA Cup as well, where Kane scored twice. And a Solly March own goal as well. Helped Tottenham to the victory, as Yves Bissouma also scored in that FA Cup loss for Brighton. But it was heavily deflected. Lucas Moura getting the final instructions from the Tottenham staff. He may replace Dejan Kulusevski, who is on a booking currently after an elbow to Cucurella. May be lucky to be on the pitch. Swedish international. Kulusevski did collect an assist in the Premier League meeting between these two sides a month ago, as Benton Kerr's been caught out in possession by Welbeck. Now Caicedo, there's a run on with Trossard. He gets there. Oh, just a bit too far ahead of him, but he will get there. On the edge of the box, he's been given space to cross towards Welbeck. Will it drop in the box? No, he'll drop into the hands of Lloris. I don't understand why Tottenham gave Trossard so much time and space to get the cross in, but they did. But they couldn't make the most of it, as it's still 0-0 in this game. This will only be Tottenham's 4th draw in the league this season if they do go on to pick up a point today. They give it away again. Højbjerg this time. Gross gets it to Welbeck. Nice footwork to keep it away from Emerson Royale. It's now Trossard again on the left. Again, giving loads of room to pick a pass. And he finds McAllister with the shot. And it's a left foot strike about 20 yards out. Always flying over the crossbar. But Højbjerg again being dispossessed, and as Trossard got it on the left, he's just given loads of time to pick a pass or a cross. This time it was a pass into McAllister, who just drifted to the edge of the box, and he was given a chance to shoot, but never going to test the 35-year-old Hugo Lloris. And I did call the substitution. Dejan Kulusevski, who's not had his greatest time in a Spurs shirt today, will be replaced by the Brazilian Lucas Moura, making appearance number 40 for the season in all competitions. Lucas Moura. He's not started a game in the Premier League since the 13th of February, with the introduction of Kulusevski taking his spot in the team. But he'll be forever a hero, Lucas Moura, at Tottenham, even if he does leave at the end of the season due to lack of game time. That hat-trick he got against Ajax in 2019 to take them to that Champions League final was something that no one ever expected at half-time of that game, as Eric Dyer sends a ball towards Lucas Moura, be collected in the end by Robert Sanchez. Already, the Brazilian trying to find a way into the Brighton box, as he is coming up towards 200 appearances for Spurs. Lucas Moura, this is 197 for the club. He's scored 38 goals in that time. 19 of them in the Premier League, so half of his Spurs goals have been in the Premier League. Conte still needing more from his team, as Cucurella slams it towards the right-hand side, where Reguilon will head forward towards Son. And as far as Veltman, nodded on here now to McAllister. Heavy touch and can be tackled by Lucas Moura on the halfway. As he looks to drive forward, pokes it towards Kane. Heavy pass. Veltman can just sweep it away with the left boot. Halfway inside the Tottenham half, where Eric Dyer's run over to take it quickly, as with 25 minutes to go, plus added on time, Tottenham have really struggled with the chances. They've barely had any. They've yet to have a shot on target, and for me, Brighton have probably been the better side. Long ball forward by Romero, up towards Who's that up towards? Honestly, with the shade, you can't even tell. Up towards Heung-min Son, but it was over his head, and it can be collected once again by Robert Sanchez, who's only got one clean sheet in 4 appearances against Spurs, and that came last season in their home Premier League win against Tottenham. Cucurella, the left back. Down the line it goes towards Trossard. Goes inside towards Caicedo. Helps on to Welbeck. Tries a chop inside towards Trossard, but as Caicedo released the ball earlier on in the move, he was brought down, and Craig Pawson gives a free kick. Yeah, just as he poked it towards Welbeck, Romero caught him late. Some South Koreans in the crowd for Son, as Romero intercepts a Brighton pass forward towards Welbeck, but it's only fell as far as McAllister. It's now Trossard to Caicedo. Right hand side it goes. In the final third is Lamptey. Does he decide to take on Reguilon one-on-one? I don't think he will. He'll just play it back into Pascal Gross. Left-footed switch. He sees on towards Trossard. It does find the Belgian. He's got Cucurella on an overlap. Goes inside instead to Basuma. Back out to Trossard. Being pressed by Moura. And he loses out to the Brazilian momentarily before winning the ball back rapidly. And there's a switch on to Veltman on the halfway line as they go down the right-hand side this time. And Lamptey made a run in behind and then stopped it as he thought he'd got tracked. And Veltman went for the pass anyway, and they lose out, and it's Ben Davies to Reguilon. Forward into Son, runs out of pitch, and it'll be another throw-in for Brighton. Frustration is now heading the way of Tottenham. They are 5 points off Chelsea currently. 3 ahead of Arsenal. Will be 4. And they'll be 4 off Chelsea with this point. And they'll be 4 points ahead of Arsenal as well. 7 ahead of United in 7th. As Eric Dyer heads away. Højbjerg into Bentancur. Switch out quickly towards Reguilon, but he's been pressured there by Lamptey, and he won't be able to keep the ball in. Another throw for Brighton on their right-hand side. Things just aren't clicking today for Tottenham Hotspur under Antonio Conte. Yeah, they only got 4 home wins last season, Brighton, and one of them was against Spurs. And again, this season they've only had 3 home wins, so you can see why there has been some discomfort between Graham Potter and the home fans, because yes, they're doing great away from home, but the majority of fans are at home matches, and they're not impressed with what they're seeing when they travel down to the Amex. As Lucas Moura brings down a ball cleared away by Tottenham. Oh, he gets away beautifully from Basuma, rushes a pass towards Emerson Royale, easily intercepted, played back to Robert Sanchez, who clears up towards Welbeck. He will get there, will he? No, he won't. Just about. Oh, there's an offside given on Welbeck as the ball was played forward. Romero got there ahead of Welbeck, and Romero headed it back towards Dyer, who then was getting chased down by Welbeck, but just about poked it back to Lloris, but none of it mattered anyway because it was offside. Bentancur, halfway line, forward to Kane. Oh, tried to flick towards Son in behind, very nearly pulled off there. But it's Brighton again with a resolute defending. 8 clean sheets so far this season. 3 of them coming away from home. They've only had 1 clean sheet in their last 8, and that was against Norwich at home in a 0-0 draw. As Lewis Dunk intercepts. Plays the ball forward towards McAllister. Will chase against Ben Davies, and he trips the Welshman. That'll be a free kick for Tottenham on the left-hand side. And he'll take it quickly into the midfield to Bentancur, who did make 26 appearances for Juventus this season before getting shipped out on loan to Spurs. Romero. Emerson Royale. Back to Romero on the halfway line. The Argentine, the number 4. Played 79 minutes against Brazil in the Copa America final. Christian Romero, where they were winning that, and they did win it with an Angel Di Maria goal in that 1-0 win against Brazil. But they've found an absolute gem in this player, Moses Caicedo, who only made his Premier League debut last week against Arsenal. They signed him in February of 2021 from Independiente in Ecuador. Independiente, there we go. My Ecuadorian club names are on point. And like I said, he made the bench 4 times last season in the Premier League, but didn't get any minutes. Now he's getting some Premier League minutes, and he's been fantastic in these 2 games. I think he did make his debut for Brighton, as this is only his 4th appearance, and I think he made his, well, I don't think he made his debut, but one of his first appearances was against Spurs in the FA Cup in early February. As Mark Cucurella has it for Brighton. Worked out wide left to Trossard, just under 20 minutes to go. Down the line it goes towards Caicedo, who just doesn't stop. Towards the corner flag, tries to take on Romero. Goal kick. Good tackle that from Romero as he got the last touch off Caicedo. It's going to be another change here, and I'm not even just saying this. I think this is probably the player I dislike the most. Rodrigo Bentancur comes off the Uruguayan, and Harry Winks comes on to try and change things. I'm not a fan of Harry Winks. I think he's really slow on the ball. Always has to think about the pass he makes before he makes it instead of one-touch stuff. But Harry Winks does come on, and this is appearance number 200 for Harry Winks, and it's also appearance 125 in the Premier League, so some healthy landmarks hit for Harry Winks in terms of appearances. Cucurella pokes it into the midfield to Bissouma in the Brighton half, takes on 3 players really well, and a 4th. What a run from Bissouma, gets it to the right hand side to Tariq Lamptey, being chased down by the new substitute Winks, who pokes it away from Lamptey for a throw-in in the final third. So defending to do for Tottenham still with a throw-in, but Harry Winks getting back well. The man who's been at Tottenham since 2002, and his contract does expire in 2 years' time. Does have 10 England caps, his last cap coming back in November of 2020. For Harry Winks. McAllister back into Veltman, who took the throw-in. Kicks it off of Winks and wins another throw-in. Clever play from the Dutchman. Joel Veltman, who did play 120 minutes out of the 180 minutes against Spurs in that Champions League semi-final back in 2019, where Lucas Moura in the second leg did score that hat-trick. Veltman was involved for Ajax as he throws it in towards the box, and away by Ben Davies, as far as McAllister, who has multiple 1-2s with Caicedo, and they didn't lay it off to Bissouma. Out to Cucurella on the left. Now Trossard, working his way inside, dinking it in the box towards Welbeck. Oh no, it's towards Caicedo. And just about got to Hugo Lloris before the Ecuadorian midfielder could maybe poke it towards goal. Well, Brighton have been the much better side today. Tottenham have been really poor. Welbeck has it. Caicedo, nice ball inside to McAllister. Back heels it into Pascal Gross. They've got men over here. To the right hand side they go to Lamptey. On the edge of the box, plays it across and easily collected by Lloris as Welbeck was making a darting run forward. And Lloris looks to set Tottenham off quickly. Long kick up towards Kane. Good touch by the England captain. And he plays it inside to Reguilon. Towards Lucas Moura. Takes it on the turn, but he's lost it with a foot away by Bissouma, who's been fantastic today as well. The Mali midfielder. But the clearance is poor. Straight to Christian Romero on the halfway line. Played forward to Winks. Drills in towards Reguilon. Poor ball that by Winks. What a shock. The deflection off from the pass off the Brighton man did fall back to Spurs, so he got away with it in the end. Now Emerson Royal, the number 12. Back to the other South American in this side, Romero. Winks. Towards Royal, ball inside. Aimed, I don't know who he was aiming it towards, but it didn't fall to a Spurs man. And now Brighton need to get it away here with Bissouma failing the clearance on the edge of the 18-yard box, and Højbjerg brings it away on the right. Can he work across? He drills in the cross! Oh, Reguilon just misses it at the far post. Son chases the afters and sees it out for a throw-in for Tottenham. Oh, and it went for a Brighton throw-in instead. They don't think there was a touch off anyone there. Well won by Højbjerg as Bissouma, who's doing well all game, loses it from the press of Moura. Then Højbjerg chased down the right-hand side, got it across. It missed Kane at the front post, and it missed Reguilon at the back post. And that's the second big chance Tottenham have had in this half. The other chance came to Son in the box after a pullback from Højbjerg, so it looks like the creative spark is from the Dane. Basuma clears it better this time, further away as far as Romero, but it's back in the Tottenham half, and they'll have to rebuild from the back. Emerson Royal, ball forward towards Moura, Brazilian to Brazilian, as he has the pace on Cucurella. He goes down the right-hand side, pulls it back, and it's well caught there by Sanchez. He got low and got the ball in his hands, but great pace shown there from Lucas Moura. He got easily beyond Marc Cucurella. The Spanish left back and the Spanish goalkeeper got down low and stopped the pullback from aiming towards the likes of Harry Kane and Heung-min Son. Under 15 minutes left, 76 minutes played, and I think Moses Caicedo is down with cramp because he has not stopped running. I think he's going to be replaced here by the experienced Adam Lallana, age 33 now. This will be appearance number 249 in the Premier League, so he's one off 250. He was on the bench for the Champions League final back in 2019 for Spurs. I mean, for Liverpool against Spurs, but he didn't get on the pitch. And yeah, he will be coming off Moses Caicedo. That's only his second ever Premier League appearance. He got the full 90 last week against Arsenal where he picked up an assist. And he's got 77 minutes today against Spurs. And he's been absolutely fantastic. Definitely found a hidden gem there in Moses Caicedo, the midfielder. But the 20-year-old has ran as much as he can. And he'll be replaced by the more experienced Adam Lallana, like I said, the age of 33 now. Did win the league back in 2020 with Liverpool after making 15 appearances in that season. We're going to start with Robert Sanchez on the ball. Kick out of his hands. It's a long kick up towards Welbeck. Can't win the header on Ben Davies. The clearance away goes as far as Veltman, who gets it back towards Welbeck. Davies loses out, but it falls beyond him into Sergio Reguilon, who gets it to Dyer, who will stride forward as Spurs look for this opening goal of the match. In towards Moura. Poor, heavy touch, and it's the first few touches for Lallana as he works it to Trossard on the left. Slight challenge from Emerson Royal, but he doesn't get anywhere near the Belgian. That's on the edge of the 18-yard box with Lewis Dunk. Got 5 goals last season in the league, Dunk, 4 of them being headers. Basuma sprays it to Lamptey on the right-hand side. Into Basuma. Good play, beating the Tottenham press. Lallana takes over. 1-2 with McAllister. Just about entering the Tottenham half, crossing that border from their own half into the Spurs half. Just playing it along their back line for now. Brighton just racking up the passes, just making sure they build the attack properly. Try and create the best attack they can. Welbeck out-strengthens Eric Dyer there, who stayed down. Lallana on the left. To the edge to McAllister. Out wide left to Leandro Trossard as Dyer's back to his feet. He works in a cross towards Davies, who has to head away. Lamptey gets there. Puts in another cross towards Welbeck. Header over the bar. But Brighton are making the better chances, that's for sure. Dyer was beaten to the ball by Welbeck. He stayed down momentarily, but while he was down, Brighton got forward, worked a cross in. It was kept in by Lamptey, who worked the ball in himself to Welbeck, who could only head over the bar. And Brighton have definitely been the better side. It's been even possession, 51% for Tottenham, 49% for Brighton. Tottenham have had 4 shots, 0 on target. Brighton have had 8 shots, 3 on target. Says the story there completely. Brighton have been the better side and definitely deserve at least a point from this game, if not the whole 3. And Lamptey's gone down on the far side, but play doesn't have to be stopped because Spurs are in possession. Lamptey has got himself back to his feet though. For now, as Winks has it on the far right-hand side, works into Emerson Royal in the final third. Can they work a chance? Back to Dyer, who's got forward. Winks. He has an eye for a good pass. Goes back to Dyer instead. Lifts a ball in the box towards Kane in behind. Just a little bit off it. And that was going towards Harry Kane. But instead it went to the hands of Robert Sanchez, who I think's thrown it out of play. Because Lamptey's gone down. I don't know if it's with cramp. He did have a lot of hamstring issues last season with injuries. So hopefully it's not a reoccurring injury. Has scored against Spurs in the past. in a 2-1 loss back in November of 2020. That was in Spurs' 2-1 win last season to Brighton. Lamptey scored in it. 3-0 Brighton is my prediction. 3-0 Spurs, you haven't been watching the game, Menno Mixer, because we've got under 10 minutes left plus added on time, and Tottenham have had 2 chances. They haven't been great chances, to be honest, and Brighton have had the main ones, and blocks from Tottenham defenders have stopped them from going in. Lamptey has seen his game through. I don't think it's an injury of the hamstring. I just think he's ran as much as he can. It doesn't seem like he's struggling at all in terms of his movement. He's walking well, so it might have been a bit of cramp. And with such a long time out last season, he's still just getting into it. He did miss the first 7 games of the season, first 4 with injury. Then he got on the bench but didn't play. So it's been a long time coming for Lamptey to really get back in regular football. And he's been replaced by Solly March, who will play on the right-hand side for Brighton, usually left-footed. Did score an own goal in the FA Cup defeat from an Emerson Royale cross, and he has it here in a dangerous area on the right-hand side. Solly March goes the long way. A weak-footed cross! Oh! And Romero had to get there first, because Welbeck, if he'd just been a bit quicker, Welbeck, and got there ahead of Romero, he had a free header right at goal. Positive influence straight away from Solly March. Oh, what a ball right across, and it's a really important header, and Graham Potter knows that's a big chance. He'll be very proud of his team, though, Graham Potter, because they've had a great performance. They've never won at this ground. They've never drew at this ground in the 4 times they've played here previously. They've got beat. Cross in to Dunk with the header. It was a header from afar, and there was no real power on it. As Lloris sends it quickly up towards Lucas Moura, defended well by Basuma and volleyed away by Cucurella. Welbeck's there, and he will give chase as the ball bounces towards Lloris, who has to head away because it was on the edge of his box to Reguilon. Tries to take on McAllister, and he wins a throwing off the Argentine Brighton man. It was the same with Aston Villa last time. Aston Villa were dominating, but still didn't somehow score. But Spurs turned it around in the second half to make it 4-0. Yeah, I agree. Aston Villa were good last week, and Spurs pretty much scored when they attacked, and a Son hat-trick and a Kulusevski goal was the difference, but it's not been like that today. They've not been able to score with a chance. They've had 2 chances, I'd say, Tottenham today, both in the second half. A Son block shot was one, and then a pullback by Højbjerg, which missed everyone. And other than that, they've not really had much. But if they take those 2 chances, they win 2-0, but it's not the same as last week. As Welbeck's been looked for in behind, on the left of the box. He has to wait for support. 1-on-1 with Eric Dyer. Just lays it behind him to Trossard as Brighton players get forward. Basuma to Cucurella. Across to Basuma as Tottenham get every man behind the ball. Still 0-0. 6 minutes to go plus added on time. Solly March. We know he's pretty good creatively. March got a good cross on him. Solly March. It's Brighton, the team, looking for the winning goal away at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And Brighton have played harder play, and they do look like they're struggling. Pascal Gross now is down, but he's holding the back of his left leg. Doesn't look like cramp. Let's have a look. I thought that was a fair challenge from Lucas Moura, to be fair, as he came off Pascal Gross last. But the last defeat that Tottenham picked up at home was 4 Premier League games ago at home, and that was at home to Wolves. It was a 2-0 loss back in February, 13th of February. So they haven't lost at home for 2 months now. As we've got 5 minutes to go, Antonio Conte definitely won't be pleased with this performance, as he's going to call upon Steven Bergwijn to come on and help him out late, which he did do so. You may remember against Leicester when he got 2 goals in the 90s. Be his 21st Premier League appearance. He's only made 4 starts, and that'll stay like that. 3 in the Premier League so far this season, again 2 against Leicester in that heroic comeback. Cucurella has it. Back out. It is to Pascal Gross, who's back on his feet after... Oh, it's actually Solly March, sorry. Cucurella out to Trossard. Will there be late drama here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? Cucurella into the Tottenham half. We are with Pascal Gross, who again is back on his feet. Gets it to Solly March, the substitute. Sees a switch on towards Trossard, and we'll find Trossard, the man who's making his 100th Brighton appearance in all competitions. Nice ball found towards McAllister. His first pass has been deflected back to him. Does he fancy a strike? He works it wide left towards Solly March, just behind him. But he does keep it in. But he offers too much of it to Reguilon, and he can get it into Ben Davies, who hurries it away. Headed forward by Veltman towards Pascal Gross, but he doesn't get there first. Heung-min Son tries to set off the counter-attack, gets beyond Bissouma, plays it towards Kane, but he loses out to Pascal Gross and Bissouma, and Brighton look to try and get away if they can. McAllister, heavily challenged, but it falls to Bissouma. He gets it forward to Welbeck, and the counter-attack's on. Leandro Trossard on the left, cutting onto his right, shot towards the near post, well wide. Poor shot in the end by Trossard, and that'll be a goal kick. As Kane got dispossessed in the midfield and Brighton broke away, but Trossard wasted it with a poor attempt. As Trossard was looking for goals in back-to-back matches. As Heung-min Son is the man replaced. Heung-min Son is off for Steven Bergwijn. Really poor performance today from Heung-min Son. He's the second top goal scorer with 17. He got a hat-trick in his last game against Aston Villa. He was, before today, 6 goals in his last 3, but wasn't able to make it work today. And that is now 9 appearances in a row against Brighton without a goal. He has 1 goal against Brighton in 10 now, and that goal that he got was in his first ever game against Brighton. So, not the best of luck charms, Heung-min Son against Brighton. As it's now Spurs looking for that goal. Ball forward, held up by Steven Bergwijn. Back to goal, tries to turn forward. Lays it off into Højbjerg. 88th minute now. Højbjerg spins nicely. Plays the ball forward towards Kane. Intercepted by Cucurella. And Brighton play it out now with Welbeck. Gets away from Romero and wins the free kick. Well won by Danny Welbeck. Poked the ball away from Romero as he took out the English striker. He's had horrid injuries, Danny Welbeck, in his time. He's missed over 3 years of football altogether with his injuries. He's been out for 12 games this season with a hamstring injury. He's not scored in his last 9 games before today in the Premier League. But he's making his way back to his feet. 90 seconds left of the 90 plus added on time. Will we get a goal? In this fixture, they've played each other now 10 times in the Premier League, Spurs and Brighton, and there's only been 1 draw, and that was back in 2018 of April. It was a 1-1 draw at Brighton. Ball down the left, headed on by Welbeck. Lallana to Trossard. Ball around the corner to Welbeck, who brings it down. Gets lucky with a deflection towards Lallana, who's tackled by Romero. It falls to Trossard, takes it around Dyer, and plays it into the far right corner. And Brighton may have nicked it late at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It is nothing more than they deserve. The Brighton fans go wild in the away end. And their lacklustre Tottenham performance has been punished at home. And Leandro Trossard, on his 100th appearance for the club in all competitions, comes up with a massive goal for Graham Potter. He started from the free kick from Welbeck. Down the left it went. He flicked it onto Lallana. He worked it out to Trossard. He put a ball around the corner. Welbeck's onside. He got it to Danny Welbeck on the left. Took a touch. It cannoned off Romero, then back off Welbeck to Lallana. Lallana then got tackled by Romero. Tottenham couldn't clear it. And on his toes, Trossard just nicked into the box where the ball was unguarded by a Tottenham player. Don't know what they're doing. Romero wins it. Poor touch. No one's there. He takes on Eric Dyer very easily. And with his outside of his right boot, he curls it to the far corner. What a finish that is by Trossard. Lloris can't get there. What a finish that is. The outside of his right boot, he gets it beyond Lloris. And this could be A historic win for Brighton, as in their 5th attempt at this ground, they might be winning for the first time. It's been a Graham Potter masterclass. They've been unbelievable today. They deserve every point they get from this game. And it looking like it might be 3. Deserved. Completely deserved. Leandro Trossard on his 100th appearance for the club. He gets his 16th goal for Brighton. They've all come in the Premier League, and I don't think there's been any more important than that. He scored last season against Tottenham in their home win. That ended 1-0, and it looks like he's going to be scoring again against Tottenham, away this time in a 1-0 Premier League win. What a goal. Well worked down the left. A bit of fortune with Welbeck getting tackled by Romero and it falling to Lallana, and then Lallana getting tackled by Romero and then falling to Trossard. But Trossard got there, was on his toes quick, got into the box, took it away from Dyer, and outside of the boot finished with the right foot to the far post where Lloris couldn't tackle. Couldn't save it as Welbeck gets it in the box, pulls it towards Lallana. Højbjerg's there, plays it back to his keeper, and they clear it in the end. My word, Brighton going for the kill. 5 minutes of added on time, by the way. We've played 1:40 of it. And like I say, everything that Brighton are going to get from this game, they deserve. They've been so good today. So much better than Tottenham. And this is what happens when you don't kill off games and when you play poorly. Everyone's saying, oh, Tottenham's got top 4 now. It's Tottenham's. No, it's not, because Arsenal have got 2 games in hand on Tottenham and they're only 4 points behind. It's anyone's top 4 spot. Anyone's top 4 spot. As Dyer heads it away, loops towards Kane, he brings it down very well in his own half as he drops deep for the ball. Something he's not done much today, to be fair, Kane. As he tries to take it away from Lallana, he does do so. Left-footed ball along the ground, intercepted by Pascal Gross. It's now with Bissouma. Oh, good skill away from Kane. Could they kill it off with a second goal? Out towards Welbeck on the left. Intercepted, though, by Christian Romero. He's been challenged by Welbeck, gets away from Welbeck, but he can't get away from Romero. Can't get away from Bissouma, and Romero can't get away from anyone else. Oh, it's now Lallana into Welbeck. Trossard. Back to the back line with Veltman. Out to Solly March. He's been forced to his goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez, who's not really had any saves to make. I genuinely don't think he's had to make a save. He's had to come and collect a few crosses, but the Heung-min Son shot earlier on in this second half was blocked by Trossard. That's a great switch. What a ball out to Solly March from left to right. As play's been stopped here, and there'll be a yellow card for Emerson Royal. As Leandro Trossard sent the switch out towards Solly March, he obviously caught him as the ball had gone. And Emerson Royal gets a booking. He's Bissouma, man of the match. Completely agree. Completely agree. What a goal by Leandro Trossard. What a way to mark your 100th appearance for the club with a great goal. He was the only player who was on it, on his toes. The other Tottenham players fell asleep. He got in there after... We're not going to... we can't take away the fact it was a fortunate goal, the way it broke to Trossard, but you've got to be there to pick up the loose balls, and he did. Free kick taken. Emerson Royal tries to clear, only as far as Bissouma. 30 seconds left of the 5 added on. Trossard. Being forced back towards Lewis Dunk. It's a short ball, and he just has to kick it into the Tottenham managerial box, as Tottenham could have one last attack. Trossard, the match winner, putting his team in a bit of danger here. Emerson Royal throws it back to the halfway line to Dyer, who's got to lift it forward, and he does do so. He looks towards Kane, misses his head, and it's headed away by Brighton, as far as Davies, who tries to get it back forward, but it falls to Solly March, who can drive away the substitute. They've just got to keep it between themselves now, Brighton. Oh, and they give it away. Solly March losing it with Alexis McAllister. It's now Kane on the left, setting away Reguilon. This is surely last chance saloon for Tottenham. Across off the corner flag, and it's going to be a throw-in Good block from Veltman. A quick throw in though to Winks. He needs to get it in the box. He curls it in the box. It's helped on by a Brighton man, and thankfully it falls straight into the hands of Robert Sanchez. And I think that could be it. We've played 35 seconds extra of the 5 additional minutes added on. As Robert Sanchez kicks out of his hands up the field towards Danny Welbeck, chests it down towards McAllister, and the full-time whistle has been blown. A big, big blow to Tottenham Hotspur's Champions League chances for this season, but it's a historic victory for Brighton. They win their first ever game at the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They've tried 4 times previously. They'd lost the 4 times that they'd come here, but this time it's different. It's a dramatic late winner from Leandro Trossard. Every single Tottenham player today was poor. No one had a good performance, and every single Brighton player put the shift in they needed, and they've got a fantastic win. And seriously, Brighton have been unbelievable today. A 0-0 draw would have been a bad result for Brighton and a good result for Tottenham based off performances. But they got everything they deserve. Leandro Trossard, on his 100th Brighton appearance, scores the winner in the box, outside of his right boot, to the far right corner. After Tottenham could not get the ball off Welbeck, they couldn't get it off Adam Lallana. Trossard nicked in, took it away from Dyer, a cross goal it went, and he finished it in front of the Brighton away fans, who will be travelling back to the seaside shores of Brighton with 3 Premier League points. It is back-to-back wins now for Brighton, and they are the first team since Hull in 2008 to beat Arsenal and Tottenham in back-to-back away wins. They've leapfrogged Aston Villa into the top half of the Premier League table now. 32 games played, 40 points, 10th in the league they currently sit. And what a stat that is. First team since Hull in 2008 in the Premier League to beat Arsenal and Tottenham in back-to-back games away from home. What a fantastic 6 points to get. Before their game against Arsenal last week, they'd gone 3 games without a goal, which consisted of a draw and 2 losses. But London is where it's at for Brighton. 2 wins back-to-back and a really poor game for Tottenham. A fantastic performance from Brighton, and in the 90th minute they got what they deserved. A very, very much deserved 1-0 away win. Leandro Trossard with the winner, getting his 2nd goal in a row against Tottenham in back-to-back seasons. He scored last season in a 1-0 home win against them, and now he's scored a goal in a 1-0 away win. And it is now 3 seasons in a row where Brighton have beaten Tottenham in one of the 2 Premier League matches. In the 2019-2020 season, they beat them 3-0 at home. Last season, they beat them 1-0 at home. This season, they beat them 1-0 away. They've avenged the loss that they received off Tottenham a month ago. And Brighton are in the top half of the table, and Graham Potter masterclass. They started without a striker and it worked well, but they just didn't have a forward man to aim for. At half-time, they brought off Enoch Mwepu, who was lucky to not get a red card. He brought on Welbeck to give them a vocal point. It was a great move and a great tactical display from Graham Potter. And even if there was any doubts with him after 6 losses in a row during the month of March and April, there's no questions over him now. They may have the 3rd lowest amount of goals in the Premier League, with now 29 goals. But, my word, they get beyond Aston Villa in the table. They get beyond Palace as well in the table, who obviously don't play today. They've got a FA Cup semi-final to deal with tomorrow. But as he goes over to the travelling fans, Graham Potter is being met with warm rounds of applause, dancing from the Brighton fans, who can travel home with a very much deserved 3 points. Like I say, it's not a fluke. They didn't defend the whole game and got on the counter-attack. They were the better side. They had more possession. They had 52% possession. They had more shots. Tottenham had 5 shots, 0 on target. Brighton had 12 shots, 5 on target. So the amount of shots Tottenham had on goal, Brighton had on target. Everything they get deserved. And Tottenham lose a little bit of grip on that 4th place spot. And Basuma goes over to the away fans. Then the Marley centre-half with some dance moves for the travelling supporters. The man who they did miss, to be fair, during those 6 defeats in a row. They did miss Yves Bissouma because he was out at AFCON with Mali. He made 3 starts in the African Cup of Nations, but he's back and he has got to be snapped up by someone because Yves Bissouma is an unbelievable midfielder. Wow. Well, that was unexpected. I don't think it was unexpected from the balance of the game. I think they were always trying to nick a goal, Brighton. They obviously didn't want to concede, but they were always, knocking at the door, and they got the answer. I guess Arsenal still have hope for top 4. Definitely, if they win their 2 games in hand now, Arsenal. So if they win today against Southampton away, they close that gap back to 1 point. Quick commentary as always. Cheers, thank you. Wait, I thought it was the first half. No, 12:30 kickoff. You're a bit late, Veno Mixer. And wow, bad result for Spurs. Thanks to the commentary. No worries. That is going to be the end of this commentary. Make sure you're here in just under 2 weeks' time, where I'll be doing RB Leipzig versus Rangers in the first leg of the Europa League semi-final, and then a week after that, so in just under 3 weeks' time, I'll be doing Rangers versus RB Leipzig, the second leg. Thanks to everyone who's been in this commentary. Hope you enjoyed. It was a bit of a poor performance, really, from Tottenham, and they've let top 4 hopes slip massively with a loss to Brighton at home. It's their first loss at home in the league since early February, and Graham Potter has had an absolute tactical masterclass versus Antonio Conte. And for now, who will be the team who take that top 4 spot? Because Tottenham have slipped at home to Brighton.